All right. Let me share my screen here.
Eunice, are you going to introduce yourself during your part?
Um,
You were going to introduce us, Leah.
yes, I will.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
good afternoon. I am Leah Lopez, the manager of member engagement here at ASA, and I would like to welcome you to ASA's Women in Industry panel, AI at Work, Balancing Innovation and Responsibility. Ivanese and Quinn will join us here in just a moment. ASA would like to thank its 60 plus supplier partners for their continued support of all we do here at ASA. Without the support, many of the programs and services ASA offers would not be possible. The same goes for our 50 plus sustaining supplier partners. These ASA member reps have gone above and beyond in their support of ASA. Thank you. ASA association partners are also a big part of the ASA family. Shout out to Federated Insurance and Fabric. Ace Apparel is the paramount choice for ASA member firms in search of apparel, catering to all attire needs, ranging from warehouse essentials to boardroom elegance and everything in between. All ASA members that place an order will receive free embroidery on their first order. Any questions, you can email Mike Mayaska. ASA needs your help. We launched our Voice of the Engineer specifier survey, which will collect important feedback from engineers, architects, and specifiers across the industry. This input will help us better understand their needs and strengthen the connection between specifiers and the PHCB PVF supply chain. We're asking you to share it with your network, especially with any engineers, specifiers, or architects you work with, and encourage them to participate. The more responses we collect, the stronger and more actionable the results will be for all of us. Our goal is to get over 400 responses. Scan the QR code to get the survey link. Save the date. ASA's Elevate 2026 is April 7th through 9th in Boston at the Westin Boston Seaport. Program and registration details are on the ASA website. We recently sent out ASA's 2025 membership satisfaction survey. Your feedback is incredibly important and will help shape ASA's priority programs and services for 2026 and beyond. Here is my contact information if for any additional questions you may have. With that, I will turn it over to Ivanisi and Quinn, and they will take it from here.
thank you, Leah. We'll start. You can see my screen, I believe, in a minute. There we go. So I want to get started with the agenda, and then I'll hand over to you, Queen. Okay? So
Sounds
even
good.
if Queen, here's the agenda. We will have an overview about AI. So Queen is going to drive that, why AI matters. And then we'll start talking a little bit about what AI means in the industry for women, some benefits, opportunities, risks, and challenges. We'll discuss governance ethics a little bit and what the future is holding for us. We will not have Q&A in this session, but if you have questions, of course, you can send them to us. Thank you, Leah. So, Queen, you are on.
Thanks, Eunice. So I'm just going to give a little bit of an overview with AI. So what is AI? It enables computers to learn, recognize patterns, make decisions, and understand natural language efficiently. So it helps unify data, which helps create a holistic analysis with our data, and it continues to evolve. So while it's enhancing efficiency, it's also driving innovation and solving complex problems. So I'm going to touch on two different types of AI, predictive and generative. So predictive AI helps forecast future outcomes. So it's going to take in historical data and then output these predictions, whether that's numbers or categories. Some use cases would be like forecasting, that's common in like finance, marketing, operations, or just business intelligence and analytics. On the other side, there's generative AI. So this is creating new content. So you're prompting the AI and inputting data to then output things like text, images, code, audio. So it helps create automation, and new design. So natural language processing or NLP, so this is a branch of AI that enables computers to understand, interpret, and generate human language. So it's able to understand normal conversation that you and I would be having. So it helps with classifying text, recognizing names, translating between languages. It also summarizes text, recognizes spoken language, and then also just answers questions. So responding to users questions with relevant answers. So you can see this in things like customer support chat box, email and smart replies, voice activated assistance, and it also can help with legal and medical document analysis.
We don't have the audience to ask questions, but I do have a question that may help to talk about this one. The training, like training agents that respond to questions and have conversations about specific subjects, like coaching us or helping with training, would those fall into natural language processing, or would you interpret that more as a training agent?
I think it's a little bit of both because the agents are using this natural language processing. So you're communicating it in your natural language. So you're coaching it, telling it things, and it's learning from what you're saying, but it's doing it in that natural language rather than like technical code. So I would say it's involved in a lot of these other AI categories that we'll talk about, like agents.
Okay, thank you.
So another type of AI is robotic process automation. You may hear it as RPA, and this technology has been around for a while, but what it does is uses robots or bots to automate repetitive tasks that are like rule-based and that are typically performed by humans. So it enables organizations to then focus human talent on higher value work, which would then drive innovation and improve customer experience. So with RPA, you're able to automate high volume tasks quickly and accurately, which then helps with cost savings, eliminates that human error and improves accuracy. And with this, you have better scalability. So it easily adapts to the changing business needs. Um, so you can see this in invoice processing, payroll automation, data migration, for example. And one use case we have is E&J Gallo Winery implemented RPA to automate their procurement workflows, so supplier data entry, invoice processing, ahead of a new product launch. And with this, they were able to streamline operations, improve data accuracy, and enhance scalability. So at those next product launches, they already kind of had this technology set up and could scale. Another one is AI agents. So this is a type of AI technique that perceives its environment and uses that to make decisions and then take actions to achieve goals. So it drives strategic transformation by enabling smarter automation and helps make business decisions. So it improves efficiency by performing tasks faster with minimal human intervention. It improves decision making, allows for personalization, so it adapts its responses and action based on user behavior and what you're telling it. Um, so it kind of gives that personalization factor. So you might see this in customer support automation, predictive maintenance, personalized marketing, for example. And so one use case is JPW Industries use Salesforce's AI, which is called Agentforce, to streamline their customer service operations. So it's using that customer data and then external knowledge to create this agent that then handles routine inquiries and complex operations. So it helped reduce its order processing time from like 16 to 24 hours to under one. And with that, it freed up their human agents to focus on those higher value interactions and improve customer experience.
Queen, since again we don't have Q&A, but I do have maybe a comment more than a question. One use case that I think may be useful to people from an individual perspective more than purely corporate is using agents, creating agents for yourself, like personal assistants. As an example, I have created one for me that is like a communication coach. So first, English is not my first language, so it's super helpful for me to have somebody revising my communication. And specifically, I asked for the agent to look at the uh, executive communication style in different audiences, right? So it may be internal or external, but to coach me on my communications, what could be improved. So it was very interesting to create the agent because I gave it some pointers, right? To know what I am expecting from the agent. So in a sense, it's almost like a personal assistant, right?
Yes, that's a great example. And kind of along those lines, from my experience, I used Copilot, so that's Microsoft's AI agent, to help the legal department here at Renai create a contract reviewer agent. So you can input a contract and it would provide feedback, action items, summarizations of that contract really quickly. So yeah, there's those business ones too, but also being able to help you in your individual tasks and day to day.
Yeah, great point. Thank you.
All right, and then we also have machine learning. So this enables computers to learn from historical data and then improve their performance on tasks over time. So it's not programmed for every single scenario. It's learning from that historical data and just being able to handle those different scenarios based off of past experience. So it empowers organizations to make faster, smarter, more scalable decisions by taking their data and turning it into actionable intelligence. So it improves decision making, automates tasks, improves customer experience, and also provides that predictive capability as well. So you see it with that predictive maintenance, quality control, and defect detection, demand forecasting, for example. So one use case is at Butterball. They use Microsoft's machine learning to optimize their 3PL. So it helped with storage costs, distance and proximity to its customers, and its capacity. So these are some common AI tools that we see today that you might also be familiar with. So there's ChatGPT. This is a conversational AI tool. So you're talking to it with that natural processing language that we talked about earlier. Then there's Canva. That is a design tool which now has built-in AI capabilities. Google Gemini is an AI assistant that helps with searching and prompting. Grammarly is a writing assistant, so providing feedback on clarity, tone, and grammar. And like we mentioned, Microsoft Copilot. So this is Microsoft's AI. So it integrates all your different Office applications. So PowerPoint, Word, Excel, Teams, Outlook all together and provides that cohesive environment when using that AI capability. So why does AI matter? It improves efficiency, so automating repetitive tasks, gives more insight, so it can unlock patterns and trends and data. Innovation, so enabling new products and services, and then scalability, so handling those large scale operations with minimal human input. And lastly, accessibility. So it can help translate languages, assist people with disabilities, like the voice to text or image descriptions, for example.
Great point, Queen. Even for people like me, like English is my second language, Spanish is my third language. It helps me a lot to figure out how to better communicate with people that don't speak my language primarily. So, thank you. So next one, I'll continue from here. So even easy speaking. For the ones that are not familiar with the robot on the left, her name is Rosie. This is a very old cartoon that I think it's from the 60s maybe or 70s, but we were thinking about automating activities, especially at home, for a long time. So this is not new. And the first question when we were invited to give this webinar and talk about AI, especially from a women's perspective, the first question was, does that matter? What's the difference, right? A lot of us were like, maybe there is no difference. It doesn't matter if your gender when it comes to AI, either from a usage or development of AI, but ends up that it matters. And it matters for a few reasons. So as we all have biases, so does AI. And if you take a look at some studies that I have put in here you can find them very easily, but there are the links in the presentation. Women tend to be given accepting more administrative tasks, even when they have the same role. And as you can imagine, all the admin tasks, even when you think about at our houses, right? So thinking about the menu, what the family is going to eat, when things need to be replaced or cleaned in the house, grocery store, and everything you can imagine that we do day in, day out. Women have more responsibility overall, and AI can help with that, right? There is another perspective that is when it comes to relying on AI information, if you're looking at wellness and healthcare data, it is heavily biased towards men because women, they are not part of the studies as much as men. So we are only represented about 30% of the studies, although we are around or more than 50% of the population. So we need to be careful about when we look at data, especially when it comes to AI summarizing or giving us insights. And the last one was a big aha moment for all of us when we were discussing this. That is the AI hiring models, they favor white males, and there are several ways to identify that as the name, for example, or pictures if you have pictures around. So we need to be extremely careful when relying on AI to make decisions for us. And we will talk a little bit about that. Before I move to the next slides, I want to tell you that these presentations, so the first part that Queen was presenting, you can see that this is the foundation. We wanted to give you some ideas about what AI is, what it isn't, what are the different flavors or technologies involved in AI. Everything you're going to see from now on in these slide and the next ones, it's a result of conversations with several people. I will say around almost 50 people. I talked to a lot of people in the industry, so inside of Renai and outside as well. So we talked to rep agencies, we talked to distributors, a lot of women, and this is the result of all the conversations we have had. So it's a compilation of insights from many people. It's not even easy speaking to you here, but the conversations that I have summarized with several different people. So very interesting insights. And I wanted to start with this one. It was not obvious to us if AI would make a difference or not when it comes to the gender, but ends up it does. So the next one, this one is about how to apply AI to our industry. So we found out that some AI tools used are on the left. So you've heard that from Queen already. So Google Gemini was out there. It's very good for summarizing. Some people, what I've heard from quite a few people is that they trust Gemini more than ChatGPT, given the sources that are looked at for Google Gemini. So it tends to be more academic, I would say. Research and analysis workflow, some people are using Perplexity and Claude for creative content. So Queen mentioned Canvas and other people mentioned Jasper and DALL-E 3. And even for project management data insights, we have other options here like Notion, Asana, and Julius. What I also learned, and we have asked a lot of questions about who uses AI in your company, it varies a lot. So some departments use it more than others. We noticed that marketing departments tend to use it more, and IT, of course, because IT people are curious by nature. So people have been using Adobe Photoshop and Microsoft Copilot and other vendor solutions. People use it a lot for admin daily tasks like email management, creating policies. So things that are probably you need summarization and also when you need standardization. So policy is a good example because all policies are kind of the same, at least in format. Like the example Queen gave us about contract management is a great one because contracts are usually standard. So you know the terms or the sections that will happen there. So it gets easier for AI to help you, at least to help you with a straw man and then you can add more meat to the bone and get it tailored to your need, right? So you save time by letting AI do the part of the job that is very basic or repeatable, let's say. Summarizing meetings, a lot of people have been using this and having fun with that. And efficiency improvements, such as the one I just mentioned. So instead of doing everything by yourself and spending time creating things that are pretty basic, you let AI do it for you, and then you add the value that you can add by adding details and more things afterwards. We cannot forget also that there are also very specialized AI tools, and some people are mentioning that want to use vendor tools for quoting, for example, but it's hard to get a good fit. This is the feedback I got. The more specialized you get, the more difficult it is to use AI because it requires a lot of interpretation and decision making, and AI is not great at that. So the more generic tasks like summarizing and creating drafts for you, good. It's easy. When it comes to more specialized work, it gets more difficult to use. The next one is this is a summary about the benefits and opportunities people have found. So this is feedback from all of us about how can we leverage AI more daily basis. So people report that we have a lot of time savings and efficiency by automating routine tasks like meeting minutes, like some project summaries, creating templates, and doing things like this. Um, Helps to figure things out by myself. This is a good point too. Sometimes you know your work, but you don't remember specific details of some things, and you can just ask ChatGPT or Copilot, hey, what does that acronym mean? It's really easier than go figure it out on Google. And if you remember, Google now is hard because it has a lot of paid content first. So you have to scroll down a lot. So AI helps. Even the AI summary of Google helps a lot. Some insights is specific from our industry. It can help, AI can help scaling services. So chatbots, for example, I know this is controversial because we will talk about this a little bit in risks and challenges, but a lot of people don't like to interact with chatbots. But it can scale services. Some people like it. So you can have the two options if possible. You have a chatbot for people that don't like to interact with humans, and you can have humans that can leverage AI to help people that want to speak to a human. Improve onboarding. Onboarding is something that can be very difficult or time consuming sometimes. And with AI, this can become much faster. I have a very good example from my own a transition to a colleague. So I took a job and then she was hired to take over my previous job, and I had to transition a lot of information to her. One thing that I did was I asked Copilot to summarize to me some very key subjects from my previous job that I would like to hand over to her. Some things like emails and files, things that happened 6 months, 12 months ago that I couldn't remember. But when I went to Copilot and I asked the question, so Copilot, help me with subject X that I have talked to people, to Maria and John, and we have made some decisions, but I don't remember what we talked about. And Copilot, in like seconds, built for me a full report linking to the emails and bringing the files, telling the entire story like a report out to her. And I could hand this all over to her like in a minute. It was amazing and saved me so much time looking for things and remembering what I have done, I don't know, 6 months ago. Another one is capture tribal knowledge and support small teams. This is also super helpful. In this case, I was the person handing over the information. So unless I was willing and having all the information organized to her, it would be very hard for her to capture everything that happened in the past not to talk about the imagine the frustration of my partners having to repeat everything to her that they have already told me in the past through the course of meetings and emails, right? For small teams, that's extremely powerful. Creating speaker notes and training, this is also something that people are doing a lot instead of just creating material from scratch. You have a lot of materials around some subjects. You can ask AI to summarize to you and create like a content list, and then you can start your work from a much better place. And contract analysis, as Queen mentioned. So these are the ones related to time savings and efficiency. Marketing teams have been also reporting that they use ChatGPT and other tools to break mental blocks. So start asking questions, asking for examples, ask what others are doing. So it's kind of a brainstorm with AI. What I would say though, and I have mentioned that in a lot of events that I've talked about AI, is you need to learn how to prompt AI very well. So you cannot ask questions that are too narrow unless you want very narrow answers, like yes or no, or am I correct or am I wrong. If you want to keep it creative or to give you insights, you need to learn how to prompt well and have good ways of talking to AI that promotes this type of open, broad conversation. Aids brainstorming. So again, asking good questions or making good prompts. Generating creative content. It can help with that and improving process ideas. So I have a friend at Renai that she asks questions to AI, asking AI to disagree with her and bulletproof her hypothesis or theories. And I love this so much because if you have ever tried AI, you may notice that it kind of tries to please us and always being very complimentary and saying good stuff or positive stuff. So if you having this idea of asking AI to disagree with you is very interesting because it gives you a different perspective that maybe a human will not feel so comfortable doing for you. The next one on data and research, of course, this is obvious, a lot of access to data. So you can ask questions like if you have Microsoft or something like this in your company, as we do, you can ask, can you take a look at all the materials I have available in my teams about subject X and give me a summary of everything we know about this? It's something that it's a very good start point for anybody and make sense out of a lot of data into something more consumable or digestible. Supports analysis. So I wouldn't recommend that you let AI do analysis by itself for you, especially because it will do as good as your prompt is. And so you need to be very, very good at asking the right questions with the right amount of details. But supporting your analysis or giving you insights is extremely powerful. So this is very good and helps building plans. AI is actually very good at building action plans if you give it the right information, even building in different formats and for different types of audiences. So this saves a lot of time. Flexibility and adaptability responds to changing priorities. And I love this last one, acts like an extra team member. So I like to say that for the ones that are listening that ever had an intern working for you. So the interns are like this very young people starting their career, starting on working in the market, and they are extremely bright and motivated and hardworking, but they don't necessarily have all the experience to make good decisions or to do the job the way that you want them to do. So it's your job to give them good directions, ask the right questions, and always bulletproof everything they do, right? Because they need to learn from your experience. It's a great relationship to have. So on one hand, they are learning, they are developing themselves, and you are having somebody smart bringing you new ideas and doing a lot of the hard work. but you cannot 100% trust everything an intern is doing for you just because they don't have enough experience yet. I treat AI as a team member. It's like an intern for me that I rely on it, but I verify everything. Okay. Before I move to the risks and challenges, I just want to ask you, Queen, you have any insights or anything that you want to add to that, like the summary of the insights from the team?
Um, no more insights, but I do definitely want to emphasize the importance of learning how to ask AI the right questions and in the right format. I think that's what really helps you take that skill, that AI skill to the next level so that you're utilizing it properly and getting the most out of it.
Yeah, that's great point, Queen. I even mentioned in another conversation that there are out there, there are training already, like online training for prompting. I don't know if you have seen that, but I heard people saying that they started taking like some trainings to learn how to prompt AI to do a better job, which is awesome. So the next one is risks and challenges. So this is about, I think it's a good segue for Queen's comment. When I'll start with the right side, the issues. You need to understand how to prompt and tool because there are limitations, and AI will not always interpret what you are trying to say. So it's different than talking to a human. You need to be very specific and very clear about what you want. Otherwise, AI will misinterpret you and do something that you don't want them to do. So you need to know first how to ask the questions and prompt it, and also how to and revise what it does. You cannot just take what AI gives you and just present as the final product. I would never do that. So let's start with the issues on the right, then we can talk about the concerns a bit. So AI, of course, struggles with nuanced things. So you need to be careful about how to present that to others and check if it interpreted that correctly. Okay. It requires editing, oversight, and review. It may be vague or misaligned if the questions are not good enough. It will hallucinate, as you may have heard in the from other people. It does happen, and you can even ask it. Sometimes it gives you plain wrong answers, and if you tell them like, hey, this is not accurate, this is incorrect, they will immediately respond, oh, you were right, let me revise that, you're correct, the right information is ABC. So always take it with a grain of salt and always verify. It works as a partner, not a replacement, and it doesn't capture tone, body language, and subtleties. And this, I think it kind of takes me to the left side because a lot of people are concerned about people being laid off and reducing human roles, which is extremely valuable. I think this may happen, and a colleague of ours from Renai, she asked a very interesting question to AI a few days ago. Just, hey, Copilot, is AI gonna take my job? And the answer was brilliant. It was like, no, it's not going to take your job, and I'll tell you why. So AI kind of gave a response saying, this part of your job, I can help you with. I can make it more efficient by doing ABC. But there is a part of your job that I cannot take. That's the relationship part of your job first. So, relationship with other humans, interpreting what they need, translating their needs to make business decisions. That's not going to happen because AI cannot interpret a lot of things. They're extremely complex and subtle when it comes to relationships or even connections between things in the business environment. We It will not replace judgment and creativity. People that do that, if you try to do that, you're gonna have a problem. I saw like a meme, like somebody making fun of AI saying, hey, AI, you want to take my job, so you better prepare because you're going to deal with a lot of difficult stuff every day. And this is so true. A lot of what we deal with is so complex that AI cannot even break it down. The third bullet, I think it's extremely important on the left. It's the over reliance on AI may impact innovation and human reasoning. Yes, this is true. That's why we want to talk more about that. So, on one hand, we need to learn how to leverage AI better. So, learn how to prompt, learn how to ask good questions, and how to verify and interpret. Yes, but we also need to learn the limitations and what cannot be done with AI. So, you're not trusting AI to do things that you should not be trusting AI to do. Making work too easy and diminishing expertise. That's a very good point as well, because you may, I think, especially when you are at a very, very high level, and I think all of you will relate to that, you may listen to very, very high level leaders saying things like, oh, let's just let AI do it. And why they say that? Because what they see happening sounds very simple to them because they don't know the details about what it takes to execute some tasks. So to them, it's simple because we, the people that are doing the work, we make it look simple. This is very dangerous, and it's our job as a like middle managers or even at the lower level, that execution, to make sure that others understand the complexity of what we do, so they don't oversimplify the work. So yes, it will require us to speak up more and to be more analytical and show the work a little bit more. AI, we talked about that in the beginning. AI can reinforce societal or historical biases. Yes, it can, because AI is not magic. AI it replicates human behavior and the data that we have. So in the medical field, if you only have data that is related to studies done with men, of course, women will be not represented in that data, and AI is going to just replicate that. So we need to be careful and understand where the data comes from. Do I have enough data? Otherwise, I am stuck in a bubble, right? Incorrect, incomplete outputs, we talked about that. Needs for strong data protection and ethical use. The next slide is about that. Clear governance model, we'll talk about that a little bit. That's extremely important. And marketing or creative work could become generic. I would say this is already happening. Some things, the statics, you look at them, you already know it's AI. And some people like that, some people don't. So you need to be careful about, if you're using AI to the creative work, what kind of message you want to send. If you want to send a message of something unique, maybe using AI is not the way to go, because people will start recognizing that you are using AI, right? Queenie, interrupt me at any time if you want to add anything to the comment, if you're okay. Lastly, let's talk about, before we go to the future outlook, let's talk about governance and ethics. So I will not read that list. I just wanted to bring to you some insights about do's and don'ts in terms of governance and ethics. A lot of this came from some experiences I had in events that I went to. I went to a Gartner event that was not specific for AI, but it talked a lot about AI. And one of the major recommendations from Gartner is that you try not to boil the ocean when you deploy AI. So remember that Queen presented in the beginning use cases. Focus on the use cases, start small so you can understand your own governance and ethics needs, because every company is going to be different and will have different needs for not only the use cases and the investment that you have in AI, but also from a governance perspective. My recommendation would be always involve legal, HR, and IT cybersecurity day one. Do not just go start using AI, even something as simple as ChatGPT, without talking to these people. And why is that? Because AI collects your data, right? So unless you're using something secure, you may be giving up data from your company to the world as you are using AI. So be extremely careful about that, even on the simplest of the use cases. So be ethical, be compliant, protect your data. And the only way to do that is to partner very closely with legal, HR, and IT. Always treat AI as an assistant and start small. On the right side, again, repeating, do not share confidential personal data. Be careful about that. Don't rely on AI blindly. Always treat it as if it needs supervision because it does. Okay. Remember, every AI tool will have bias, either from the people that built it or the data that is available to be consumed. So keep in mind, you have biases, everybody does, and AI does too. Never assume AI is perfect because it's far from being perfect. It's only as good as the data available. It's only as good as the questions that you're asking. And sometimes we don't ask questions in a way that it interprets the way we want it. Okay. Finally, last one. What's the future outlook? So looking at everything we have looked at, how I asked this question to a lot of people. So how you think AI is going to change our industry in the next years? So of course, the first one is about automation and efficiency in processes. Everybody is looking for doing our jobs faster and better with more accuracy. AI can help with that, definitely. A smarter data analysis and predictive insight. So remember that Queen was talking about predictive analysis. This is extremely helpful for a lot of people: marketing, sales, supply chain, inventory management, predicting fluctuations in the market. So our markets behave in different ways depending on what you sell, services you provide. AI can help with big data, so we can leverage that. Transforming the roles. So remember the question my colleague asked about AI is going to take my job. It depends on how you are executing your job. We need to be more strategic, creative, and build relationships. AI will not take this over from us because it's not feasible, at least right now. So we need to focus on what is the value that I can add. I always ask this question to myself, like, is this something that could be automated so I don't need to spend time on this, and I can spend time doing things that no tool or no other person can do on my behalf? Things that are unique to me. So try to leverage what is unique to you, the way you are adding value to that process. Greater emphasis on ethics and governance. Yes, you can see that even discussions like using AI in the arts, like movies, like creative work, like graphics and illustrations. This is all being discussed, like podcasts, even creating images, real life images that don't exist. This is all being very, very important in the last two years. It's going to become more and more important in the future. You see this one, the next one, prompt engineering. This is a thing already that exists. This is a profession that is developing. It's very interesting for us that have like what the professions of the future are going to look like. Understanding AI is going to be important for all of us. Collaborative learning also. This is very interesting. How can we leverage AI to bring the knowledge together, right? So all of us, what we all know as a group, becomes something consumable and actionable. Continuous learning is needed because it's going to evolve. It is evolving very fast. We cannot just rely on what we knew anymore. We need to keep learning every day. And building configurators, specifications, and quotations tools, specifically to our industry. I think this is a big deal because we work a lot with configurations of services and specifications, quotations that take a lot of time. So how can we leverage that, leverage AI to help us to do a better job? There are several opportunities in this area. I'm very excited about what the future is bringing us. And with that, we end the presentation. Leah, anything else before we wrap up?
No, that was amazing. Thank you both so much. It will take about 24 hours to get this recording downloaded. So tomorrow I will be sending the recording out to everybody. So keep an eye out for that.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
You.
Have a great day. Bye bye.
You too. Bye.